Well, thank you very much for the invitation, and apologize, I'm going to be the only one speaking in English. Making a prediction about the prices of natural gas is a very, very difficult exercise. I've been in this industry since '97, and I've seen, never seen these prices, but I've seen a lot of wrong prediction being made. Let's start from something that was mentioned already before. I mean, this situation of imbalance between demand and supply was already there before the Ukrainian crisis. So we always have to consider that the prices of natural gas in Europe, in Greece and in Europe, are influenced by worldwide phenomena. We have a worldwide market. We have managed through an extensive LNG industry to create a market that is not national, is not let's say continental, but is a world market. And therefore, we have entered into an era in which we have a competition between also various areas of demand, Europe and Asia being the largest one, of course, apart United States, which is also a producer. Today, we have an exacerbated perception of an effect. We have an imbalance. The demand is higher than the supply. This was already true after the recovery for the pandemic, because the Asian market were growing faster than how the production was growing. And now, of course, this is exacerbated by the one side, the concern, and on the other, the decision to reduce the weight of the Russian gas in the European gas mix or energy mix. So this gap has broadened. And it will remain broad for a few years, because as also Mr. Kapros was mentioning, it takes years to develop new liquefaction facilities. There are many ongoing projects. There are probably more than 100 BCM of new LNG liquefaction capacity, but they will not be available tomorrow nor next tomorrow. They will take certainly a few years. And so if we were expecting the market to rebalance in the course of 23, now probably we will need, not probably, we will certainly need 3, 4, 5 more years before we can find a new balance in the market. When it comes to price, as I said, it's very difficult to make prediction. One, I think, reasonable rule of thumb is always to consider the marginal price for gas in the world being made from the United States in the future. Let's say the United States is the market, is the producing country which has a fastest time to market. They've been proven able with the shale gas, but also all their integrated industry chain, to be able to deliver new production in, let's say, I wouldn't say short, but certainly faster period of time than any other producer in the world. And they have a liquid supply price that is Henry Hub. So if today we look at Henry Hub, which is around $5 per million BTU, approximately 15 euro per megawatt hour, the normal prices in Europe should be in the range of 8 to 9, considering the liquefaction cost and the transportation and the regasification. So if we think a world where we, in a few years, we will come back to a reasonable balance between supply and demand at worldwide level, a price for natural gas wholesale in Europe should be in the range of 30 to 40 euro per megawatt hour. How fast we will go there? Well, that, of course, it's a big question mark. But let me also say that is a question mark that is also dependent on the signal that Europe, being one of the large integrated markets, will give to the producing countries. What we are leaving aside, of course, the big Ukrainian crisis, but what we were already into was a situation in which the producers did not consider anymore Europe as the primary market. Asia was already the primary market, because Asia was keen to absorb larger volumes of natural gas, while Europe was sending in the best case scenario, mixed feeling signal to the producers. You know, you are the necessary evil. We need you, but please, we want to get rid of you in the shortest possible time. And of course, what we are living is a wake-up call that we need to find policies that are balanced when it comes to energy transition and security of supply. Because if we forget the security of supply, then we have these big surprises and big volatility issues that we are into. In terms of lesson learned, let's say, that's for me the most important one. Let's say we are thankfully in a situation in Greece that is much better than would have been without some long-term planning, because, for instance, now we have the TAP pipeline crossing Greece, which is an important new source of supply, not only because of import of gas from Azerbaijan, but also because it connects us with the Italian market and potentially through the reverse flow to a country which has many more sources of supply. And of course, so we have, in the last few years, two important events that have strengthened the gas grid in terms of access to natural gas sources. Let's say the TAP, of course the most important, and the expansion of Revitus in 2018. And of course, many more projects that are ongoing or announced, thankfully in the near future will increase even more the diversification of the supply sources. Something that is very important, though, is to consider that when you talk about natural gas and electricity, the market is not only a yearly market. So we don't have to look at the volume problem only. We have also to look at the flexibility problem. We are growing the renewable percentage, but it means that we need a lot of flexible natural gas production to kick in when we don't have the renewables. And flexibility requires adequate supply value chain. I mean, pipeline gas has been for many, many years the largest source of flexibility. For the good or for the bad, Russian gas, gas from the Netherlands in particular, has been always a source of big flexibility, meaning that on the daily basis, through this pipeline, we could follow the demand and balance the system. Now, with LNG, the problem of how to provide flexibility will be exacerbated, because we always have to consider that the vast majority of the demand in the world is in the northern hemisphere. So during the winter, we will have a lot of competition for LNG. And we will have, let's say, prices that are not influenced only by our own demand pattern, but the Chinese demand pattern and the worldwide demand pattern. And therefore, how to rethink a system that relies more on LNG than on pipeline gas triggers broader question about how to ensure this flexibility, because it's not something that is fully available today in our energy system. So the criticality of having also a good storage system, that is a topic very much debated in this period in Europe, is of course relevant for security of supply and strategic stock, but in a gas market which will increase its LNG dependence, will become more and more also an instrument to guarantee seasonal flexibility, but also daily flexibility to serve the need of the power sector. So I think that we need to continue focus on policies that introduce, and we are super strong supporter of green gases, hydrogen, but this will take time. So in this period in which we develop the green gases industry, we need to create the right incentive to have a system that can deliver security of supply. Otherwise, we will go through a series of big supply shocks and volatility and prices that hopefully not associated with these big unfortunate events, but we had Fukushima in the past. We had many moments in which prices were very, very volatile. And this situation with the LNG market is going to be exacerbated because of its worldwide nature.